Welcome back to Lock and Reload with Ryan. I'm going to do another gun review. A gun that I just acquired yesterday. Long story how I acquired it, but my father gave it to me. Gun review is on the Thompson Center. The Thompson Center is a single shot break action pistol. Now you can convert these into a rifle. They make stocks to replace the handguard, so it becomes a stock with a pistol grip. But anyways, this is in 44 Magnum with a 10-inch barrel. I did shoot it. I sent 8 rounds downrange yesterday, just trying to get it sighted in for deer hunting. It is a very unique firearm to shoot. It is a completely different breed of firearm when it comes to handguns. This is nothing like your Smith & Wesson 629s, your Ruger Super Red Hawks, or your semi-automatics. Whether it be a Glock, whether it be a Springfield XD or an XDM or a 1911. Again, this is a 44 Magnum. The beauty of these guns are the fact that you can get them in many different variations of barrels. You know, whether you wanted a 45 or whether you want a 45 long Colt or you want a 44 Magnum 357. They make them in 30-30 Winchester. Many variations on top of that. They make a Redonkulus cartridge. I believe it's a 375 JDJ. They make a barrel for. If you plan to shoot that in pistol form, good luck, because that's committing suicide just on recoil. Anyway, so basic review. Like I stated, it's in 44 Magnum. It does have a 10-inch barrel. Now, it is a break action, as you can see, and it is unloaded. This is the first generation. Now, this is not a Thompson Center G2 or second generation or generation 2. It is the first generation. There are different features on the second generation that are not on the first generation. And there are things on the first generation that you're not going to see in the second generation. The second generation is the improved version of this. Now, again, my father's a great man, but he didn't notify me on the gun itself, so I had to learn a lot of things on my own. Now, when it comes to safeties, safety is a big thing with these, because these have probably the hairiest trigger on the face of the planet. And what I mean by hairiest trigger, it's a very, very hairline trigger, so it squeezes really, really easy. So watch your ass on that. Now, when it comes to safeties, now this one does have a hammer on it. Basically, right now, the sear is not engaged. Alright, to reset the gauge, most people believe if you break the barrel open, that resets the sear, which they are true. But you don't necessarily have to pull the barrel apart. So, again, it's reset. A lot of people believe that. Now, you can do it that way, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, because then you gotta break the barrel open, and then you reset, and then you can pull the hammer back. Well, fortunately, you don't have to do it that way. Now, if you just bought a Thompson Center and you're watching this video, this is what you're going to want to do. You have your barrel release lever to break the barrel open. Now, you don't necessarily have to break the barrel open. What you do is, I'm going to try to get up close. What you do is you just basically click it until the hammer falls, and hopefully you can see that. The hammer falls. Now, it doesn't exactly fall, but it resets the sear on it. So basically, the hammer is not touching the firing pin whatsoever. Now, once that is engaged, then you can pull your hammer back and you're fine. And you didn't have to pull the barrel open. Now, so if you're lined up for a shot, so basically if you're lined up and your shot has disappeared, and you lost your train of shot, so your shot is no longer on the deer, whatever you're hunting. So basically, after you've decocked it, you're not going to be able to cock it. So just one click, and it resets it, for your next shot. So when you have your next shot, then you can just pull the hammer back. Now to decock it, hold the hammer. Don't even touch the trigger, but to reset it, pull the barrel brake lever, pull it back, let the hammer fall. Now it will not touch the firing pin. It'll come to a stop on that sear or that cross bolt. That means you don't have to reset it completely. So it is not resting on the firing pin, so you're locked and cocked and ready to go. So again, you do not have to touch the trigger to decock it. It's basically the barrel brake lever. So just hold the trigger and let it fall. It'll come to a stop. It will not be flush with the firing pin, but it will come to a stop on that cross bolt. So that means you're ready to fire. Again, when you lose that shot, because again, these are a single shot, so that one shot really does matter. When seconds matter, you only have a few seconds, and then I doubt if the fact that you'll be able to get a second shot because it is a break action. So, anyways, so if many of you, if you are confused with that, that's the way it rolls on that. Now to completely pull the hammer, now if you want to disengage the sear and the cross bolt that's on the inside that's holding the hammer. Now if you want to completely depress that, then you hold the hammer back, it'll click, and then hold it back a little bit, then pull the trigger, and then it'll fall, and then you will be flush. Now these are adjustable sights on this particular handgun. You can get a scope mount. A lot of people do scope these handguns. I probably won't, just because I won't have time for the deer season. But again, it is a different breed of gun to shoot. Now, the many different variations of the barrels that you can get, and back on the hammer, and I'll pull the hammer back. Now, you have two selections. You have your rimfire, which you slide it to your right, and then for center fire, you slide it to your left. And because you have different firing, not firing pins, but the actual hammer stop, the little hammer stop that actually hits the firing pin, you've got your different ones. Because again, this gun has two different firing pins in it. And rimfire is the top pin, and center fire is the bottom pin. Anyway, that's another form of safety too. Basically, if you're ready to shoot and your hammer is cocked back, basically what you do is pull that little firing pin selector, push it to the middle. That will not engage any of the firing pins because it's not going to hit against anything. So when you're ready to fire and you want to go to center fire, just make sure you put it on the right one, and then just flip it over to your center fire. Now, be very careful with this handgun. This is lighter than most when it comes to handguns. I mean, it's a pretty hefty gun as it is, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So you'll experience different configurations, how you're going to hold it. I mean, you hold it like any other pistol, but you have to be a little bit more meticulous on how you hold it, because this thing will jump and bite you, specifically because of the brake barrel spur. But all in all, I'm very happy with the handgun. I'm probably going to get out and shoot it sometime this week just to get it on target, so I do have another sidearm for deer hunting. At any rate, that concludes Thompson Center Contender review. At any rate, this is Lock and Reload with Ryan. Later.